You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did. Talking of all you, it was a big year. It was a big year for movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care.
The idea that there are predators in power, not just in Hollywood, I think all across any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to, inappropriate behavior.
To them, Hanks and Epstein together were evil incarnate, raw, depraved, and forever beyond redemption. Despite Hanks' long-standing denials that he was an associate of Epstein's, bombshell DOJ files have exposed the A-list actor's close personal ties to the convicted trafficker. The Epstein files paint a disturbing picture of Hanks, connections that mainstream media have long worked to suppress. But now, as whistleblowers come forward to connect the dots, the truth is becoming impossible.
For years, Tom Hanks remained the one name nobody ever truly questioned. The trusted image, the familiar hero, the last figure you'd expect tangled inside a conspiracy thread. And still, here we are. Every time another leak drops, another Jeffrey Epstein headline resurfaces, or another whistleblower clip starts making rounds, the internet drifts back to the exact same moment. Ricky Gervais on stage, staring Hollywood straight in the face and saying, "I don't care anymore." That didn't feel like a harmless awards show punchline. It felt like something heavier, something loaded, like someone who had already seen too much. Then it cuts to Tom Hanks. Not acting, not as Forrest Gump, but speaking calmly about casting couches and predatory behavior, as if it's just another rule this industry quietly follows. People began revisiting that clip again after the rumors, after the Reddit threads, the layered music edits, the symbolism breakdowns, the no coincidences posts, because when a comedian goes live on television and tells a room full of powerful figures, "I'm not here to protect you," and the internet starts believing one of those figures is hiding something darker, you have to wonder, why does the nicest man in Hollywood keep getting tied to the same shadows everyone else refuses to acknowledge? When you talk to those who've been deep inside the Hollywood rabbit hole for years, the ones studying blind items, tracking private flight logs, and digging through forgotten lawsuits, almost all of them trace it back to one night, Golden Globe Awards 2020. Not because it was funny, but because they believe it was a warning.
Pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did. NBC clearly don't care either. Fifth time. So, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello? Lucky for me, the Hollywood foreign press can barely speak English, and they've no idea what Twitter is. So, I got offered this gig by fax. So, let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no...
People say this is the moment Ricky Gervais publicly severs himself from industry. For those who already believe there's a two-tier system, where ordinary people get crushed for minor crimes, while protected stars glide past allegations of TNA, watching someone stand in that room and openly refuse to play along felt massive. Remember, by the time this clip started spreading again, in 2024, people had already watched Harvey Weinstein fall, seen Jeffrey Epstein die under circumstances that raise questions, heard years of rumors about secret parties, coordinators and handlers, and read thread after thread naming A-list actors as protected assets. They had seen lists, real and fake, circulate with powerful names. And yes, some of the very same faces sitting in that Golden Globe Awards 2020 audience.
Talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So, fifth time. So, we were going to do an in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of people that had died, it wasn't diverse enough. No. It was mostly white people. And I thought, nah, not on my...
When Ricky Gervais takes aim at the Hollywood foreign press, fans began tying it to deeper whispers about how awards and coverage really operate. Claims that certain stars receive glowing headlines and instant damage control because they're controlled or compromised, while others get pushed out the second they stop playing along. People talk about PR agencies and studios as part of a wider containment machine, burying rumors, intimidating accusers, and weaponizing mental health narratives the moment someone begins speaking too loudly. That's why this monologue doesn't feel edgy to them. It aligns with what insiders and former assistants have been hinting at for years. A closed circle that rewards silence and punishes anyone who dares to break the code.
For 3 hours, you could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer, and it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
This is the moment many refer to as the Epstein thread. Not because Ricky Gervais calls anyone out directly, but because he's delivering jokes in a room where at least some guests had been photographed with Jeffrey Epstein, linked through his circles, or later surfaced in documents the public would obsess over. Beneath the memes sits a deeper suspicion that these jokes only land because they're rooted in truths everyone in that room already understands but never says out loud. When Ricky makes light of transporters and friends who didn't simply pass away, those who've studied every Epstein theory hear something else, a man hinting at an open secret right in front of the only audience who could ever truly confirm it.
Don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and off, okay? So, it's already 3 hours long.
The idea that these celebrities should stop using live TV to lecture ordinary people about morality because, as Ricky Gervais puts it, they're in no position to do that. For audiences who've watched Idol after Idol fall, former The Walt Disney Company stars unravel, child actors speak about the club, and musicians hint at disturbing rituals, it lands as one of the most brutally honest statements ever voiced from inside the system. The internet overflows with accounts from former child actors describing being passed around at parties. Assistants claiming they were left to clean up after powerful figures. Leaked messages pointing to hush payments and NDAs as routine practice. To them, Ricky isn't just joking. He's compressing an entire broken structure into a few sharp lines. An industry that hides predators behind charity speeches, studios, that reshape real trauma into profitable based on a true story content, and a public that still believes certain faces like Tom Hanks exist beyond suspicion. So when those same forums begin dissecting Hanks's interviews, his body language at this very event, the symbolism in roles like Forrest Gump, and his name appearing in tips and whispers, they treat it as a continuation of what Ricky ignited that night. He spoke about them in general. The internet chose to ask whether them might include the one-man Hollywood always framed as untouchable. That's when people turned and said, if Ricky was talking about them, what does he know about Tom Hanks? Because long before Reddit threads ever labeled Hanks as a predator, he had already spoken publicly about how the casting couch actually operates.
There's knowledge amongst a certain group of people, mostly who did business with Harvey Weinstein. I think in an awful lot of the dialogue that I've read that come out, there are countless women who understood that that's what happened, and there were many people who said, well, that's just Harvey being Harvey.
Well, that's the question. Is it how serious is it? Is it about one person, one man, or is it a culture?
You and I, and even the likes of the people on the Turner Classic movies, constantly understand that the idea of the casting couch that existed in Hollywood is the part of both myth and concrete reality. The idea that there are predators in power, not just in Hollywood, but I think all across any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to, inappropriate behavior to the point of
Here he isn't playing naive. He's exposing an entire mindset. The belief that if someone in a position of power offers opportunity and then forces you to prove you deserve it, that crossing into intimate favors becomes, in his own words from past interviews, a sin, illegal, and outright predatory behavior. He talks about it like it's routine, something stitched into the system itself, not some rare scandal. For those who've spent years reading survivor threads and former assistant accounts, that's exactly what they've been saying. You don't get decades of silence around figures
in Hollywood where women are afraid to speak up because they'll be blacklisted. Men are afraid to speak up because, Either they're out of the same fear, or they just think, well, this is the way the system works.
I think there are people that say, hey, this is how it works, pure and simple. And this is why I got into it, and this is why I have power. This is how it works, and you have to understand that. That does not carry the day. Complicity is also complicity. The people who know, well, look, this is how we do business, and that's what it's got to be done. I'm sorry it's like that. So beware. That's also present, without a doubt, but it does not carry the day. There's also people that were afraid to speak out, who were victims, that did not go forward, that signed, negotiated settlement deals of which a non-disclosure agreement was part and parcel to it. That also does not carry the day. So the dam has burst here in a big way. And it is not just the halls of places like Harvey Weinstein's office where this was standard operating procedure. And it is criminal, and it is cause for termination. It's also happening in every other corner of not just my industry, but yours and throughout all of America.
Do you think this is a kind of tipping point?
Well, I think it absolutely is, in which everybody is asking, men and women, women, what do I put up with and when do I talk about? And men saying, I think we have to live by a code of ethics that we need to think and put down on paper. Don't be surprised if, there's going to be a sign in front of every one of the studio gates that will say all people entering this studio will obey this code of ethics, or they will be escorted from the premises. And that will all be about.
In the extended portion of this interview, Tom Hanks zooms out. He talks about power, how predators exist everywhere, and how they use influence to decide who gets opportunities and who gets quietly shut out. He even hints at a coming shift where studios will be forced to put ethics and HR policies front and center because the dam has already broken. To mainstream audiences, it sounds measured, even responsible. But to conspiracy-focused viewers, it sparks a different question. If he understands the system this deeply, how many names has he chosen never to say out loud? That's where the rumor cycle accelerates. You've got QAlign blogs claiming he's tied to a larger cabal, linking him to Jeffrey Epstein through tips, associations, and symbolism instead of concrete evidence. And another corner of the internet that now believes the nicest man in Hollywood is the perfect cover archetype for exactly the kind of figure he says exists across the industry. Add to that the real-world decisions people fixate on. Hanks quietly becoming a Greek citizen, which some claim ties into theories about legal loopholes and protection narratives. From the outside, it's easy to interpret his words as condemnation, not confession. But from the inside, for those who watched Ricky Gervais challenge that room and then saw Hanks speak like someone who fully understands how the system consumes people, it feels different. Like a powerful insider acknowledging the casting couch is real, predators are everywhere, and yet never quite naming the individuals many online already suspect. And once you start viewing it through that lens, it becomes clearer why the next phase for conspiracy channels felt inevitable. Up until this point, everything could still be dismissed as vague. Ricky talking about them. Hanks talking about predators everywhere. No one actually saying the quiet part out loud. Isaac Cappy changed that. He wasn't an A-lister. He was a working actor. Small roles in Thor, Terminator Salvation, and a few episodes of Breaking Bad. Exactly the type of person who might see everything, but is never supposed to speak on it. In 2018, he went live on Periscope and did the one thing Hollywood's unwritten rules forbid. He started naming names.
How this stuff is all connected. Because when you're talking about like really elite levels, the name of the game is blackmail. So they want something on you that they can hold over your head so they can basically own you and tell you what to do. And they film it. And then they own you. So that's what runs the whole system, basically. They want compromised people because they're easy to control. And a lot of people, they'll just go along with it and do whatever just for fame or money or accolades or any of that stuff. I don't understand it. Some people are just like really. In
that rant and others that followed, Isaac Cappy described something far more disturbing behind the scenes. He claimed the entire machine is built to pressure people into doing things they don't want to do, and that once you're inside it, walking away becomes nearly impossible. He didn't hint at it, he stated it directly. He went as far as naming Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, and Seth Green, accusing them of serious crimes and disturbing claims tied to an elite network. For most viewers, it sounded completely unbelievable. But for conspiracy-focused communities, it felt like the first visible crack in a wall they believed had been sealed for decades.
Mark Thompson. Mark Thompson he runs the New York Times. Now, Mark Thompson was head of the BBC for years and years and years. They covered up allegations. They let him run rampant, and they just covered it up. So this guy, Mark Thompson, is at BBC, and then he goes over to the New York Times. Now think about it. If someone like that is running a giant media organization, what are they going to say? What are they going to tell you? Are they going to tell you the truth? No. No, they're not going to tell the truth. That's why when people say the news is fake, it's because it's run by these people who are into some very, 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 very sick stuff.
Here, Cappy talks about how the entertainment industry is wired so that no trickle of truth.
Here, Isaac Cappy describes the entertainment industry as a tightly controlled system where no real trace of truth ever reaches the public. According to him, PR teams, studios, and aligned media work together so that anything too sensitive gets buried, reframed, or turned into humor before it can cause damage. When you place that beside Ricky Gervais mocking Hollywood for preaching morality while allegedly shielding misconduct, it starts to feel like two very different voices pointing at the same structure from opposite sides. Then comes the moment that transformed Cappy, in the eyes of his followers, from a dismissed former actor into something closer to a martyr figure.
Like two very different men describing the same system from opposite ends. Then comes the part that turned Cappy from loudmouth actor into a martyr in the eyes of his followers.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a... Tom Hanks, folks, is a... I'm sorry if this is the kind of bursting your bubble, all this information is new, but it's time that this comes out into the open because we are going to change the way everything works, because at the top levels of wealth, of power, the very top levels, these people are just sick and psycho. Look into the Rothschild family. Do some research. You heard it's cannibals. Yeah, there is cannibalism. That's the higher you go, the more sick it gets. Peterwood has been happening for a very long, yes it has, a very, very, very long time. And this is the thing, this is what really hurts about the situation, because a lot of people are kind of born into this. They grow up in it, and through especially as a child, you can break someone's subconscious mind. If you're not aware of any of this stuff, look into MK Ultra.
He insisted over and over that he wasn't sick. He talked about mind control, blackmail, and people being used.
He repeatedly insisted he wasn't experiencing mental illness. He spoke about mind control, blackmail, and people allegedly being used as leverage inside the industry. He also warned viewers that if anything ever happened to him, they should pay attention to the names he had been mentioning. In May 2019, Isaac Cappy died after an incident on Route 66, and authorities ruled it a self-inflicted death. The official account is straightforward. The online conspiracy narrative, however, diverges sharply. Some users pointed to a post made weeks earlier by Tom Hanks featuring a single glove found on Route 66 with a caption that read like a cryptic joke. After Cappy's death on the same highway, parts of the internet began linking the two events together, interpreting coincidence as intent and treating the post not as wordplay, but as something far more symbolic.
About Seth Green now. Seth Green. Am I afraid of something? Well, I should be, because bad things are coming my way.
3 days later, Cappy was found dead in what local authorities assert was a... It's worth noting that Cappy was asked here if he currently felt...
I'm not...
A woman named Sarah Ruth Ashcraft accused Tom Hanks of purchasing her from her father for... She claims to have been abused most of her childhood.
I depersonalize a lot of this because it's really ugly, tough stuff. I'm glad something's being done about it. Because nobody should have to look back on their childhood memories and realize that the things that they thought were just meaningless and innocent were anything but that. Nobody should have to.
And once people started deciding that Isaac Cappy was telling the truth, they began going back through everything, fixating on glove imagery, red shoe symbolism, and every coincidence they could connect, convinced that Tom Hanks had been hiding messages in plain sight the entire time. Hollywood has always had a distorted relationship with honesty. It can expose the darkest human behavior on screen, package it as art, win awards for bravery, and then return to the same private circles where rumors about those same behaviors continue to circulate.
That you have to symbolize your work and who you worship. They do it hidden right in your face. It's called karmic retribution. If they tell you who they worship without you realizing who they actually worship, they feel that they don't face judgment for their actions. Nothing is accidental in this world, beautiful people, especially these entities on the world stage that have been manipulating our reality for as long as we can remember. But obviously, as always, this was just for entertainment, beautiful people. Like Tom Hanks is just clearly doing that hand symbol as a random gesture once again, and him being dressed as a woman and doing implications are just, you know, innocent. And now the fact that he's in the Epstein files has nothing to do with all of this crazy history that you can find on Tom Hanks.
To outsiders, it looks like overthinking. To people who believe elites communicate in codes and signals, it looks like someone speaking a language only insiders fully understand. And that's where a phrase starts repeating across clips and breakdowns. Their immunity blanket is being ripped away. In that interpretation, it's not just commentary anymore. It becomes a warning sign people think they're seeing embedded in plain sight, layered over the same footage, the same interviews, and the same moments that others dismiss as coincidence.
Supreme Court justice. We will certainly see at least one vice president, possibly two. George Bush and Dick Cheney are out there. I've seen 3 different witnesses say Tom Hanks is it's not just the Catholic Church. It's the Mormon Church, and it's the Christian Zionists, the evangelicals that believe in the red calf and the apocalypse and all that. All of these people are pedophiles at the top, and some of them are Christian. All these people that have been doing very evil things with impunity up to now are all of a sudden starting to realize they're immune.
This is the mood now. People convinced that whatever protection these names once had is starting to crack. In that narrative, sealed files are beginning to surface. Whistleblowers are no longer staying silent, and the same system that took down executives and powerful moguls is now expected by some online communities to eventually expose actors as well. Then comes the segment the internet keeps replaying. The suggestion that Tom Hanks isn't only present in symbolism debates or rumor threads, but also appears in online claims of tips connected to Jeffrey Epstein.
Hey, President Clinton to spend the night. Tell me about what you recall from that.
That was a long time ago. There was always a lot of people in the Clinton White House. And so look, there's no smaller part of holy cow, I'm in the White House. This is a big deal. I will tell you, there was one time we happened to be in the White House, did spend the night. Me and the family had been in Washington, D.C. We were dedicating the National World War II Memorial at its opening. George W. Bush was president. I sat next to him, and we chit-chatted a little bit during the ceremony that was out on the mall. And we had arranged, my younger kids had not been in the White House ever, so we were able to arrange for a tour. And it was a Sunday, so it was a day off. And so when he was going to come down and I guess go to the gym or something, we were sort of like asked to go stand in one of the other rooms. But my wife...
Here a tip sent to the Southern District of New York allegedly links Tom Hanks and Jeb Bush to Jeffrey Epstein and his T network. It isn't a conviction. It isn't a public indictment. But for people who've spent years being told he's not in the logs, you're crazy, just hearing his name in that context is enough to flip a switch. Suddenly, the America's Dad image isn't just suspicious. It's connected, even if only by allegation, to the darkest operation of our lifetime. And that's where this hits like a hammer.
Hanks and Epstein together were evil incarnate, raw, depraved, and forever beyond redemption. Despite Hanks' long-standing denials that he was an associate of Epstein's, bombshell DOJ files have exposed the A-list actor's close personal ties to the convicted. The Epstein files paint a disturbing picture of Hanks, connections that mainstream media have long worked to suppress. But now, as whistleblowers come forward to connect the dots, the truth is becoming impossible to ignore. Epstein's flight logs have long pointed to one thing. Tom Hanks was a regular on trips to Little St. James, the infamous island. Yet, time and time again, the mainstream media and so-called fact-checkers have circled the wagons, defending Hollywood's golden boy with a barrage of aggressive, questionable denials. They've muddied the waters, smeared the evidence, and left Tom Hanks free to keep living his charmed life, mocking the death of Isaac Cappy, taking vacations with Obama, hanging out with De Niro, untouchable as ever. Then, there are the creepy relics of missing he parades across Instagram, posted with sly winks and coded language designed for monsters who understand exactly what they're looking at. Unfortunately for Tom Hanks and the elite circle shielding him, the latest DOJ Epstein drop just blew his cover wide open. Hollywood publicist Peggy Siegel, a longtime close friend of Jeffrey Epstein, front and center in these explosive files, gets caught on record specifically mentioning Hanks. Hollywood publicist Peggy Siegel, a longtime close friend of Jeffrey Epstein, front and center of these explosive files, was caught on record specifically mentioning Hanks. In her own words to Epstein, she casually refers to Hanks being on that infamous island, and asks Epstein to pass on a personal message to the A-lister. This is direct, documented connection. Straight from one of the files, the government mysteriously failed to fully redact. The protectors can spin and deny all they want, but the evidence is out there now, and it's damning. But it gets even worse for Hanks. Much, much worse. Handwritten note straight from a witness statement in the DOJ Epstein files name-drop Tom Hanks by name. The witness testifies that Hanks was a frequent visitor to Zorro Ranch. The witness was a young girl at the time whose family lived near Epstein's compound. She describes how her own Native American family took her to Jeffrey Epstein, a man they treated as a long-term friend and lucrative source of money. She details how her sister was also to Epstein, though only once. She herself was dozens of times, and her credibility is enhanced by her
Over blurred documents and censored passages, the narration outlines what believers think is unfolding, that the Epstein files don't only involve unnamed businessmen and infamous billionaires, but also familiar public figures, with Tom Hanks included in their discussions, and that mainstream outlets are constantly working to downplay or filter any such associations. They present it like a puzzle. Whistleblower claims on one side, symbolism breakdowns and online posts on another, scattered tips and alleged leak references in between. And in their view, when you align them, patterns begin to form where the same names reappear. Put together, these clips form a single continuous narrative. Hollywood, they argue, sold monster stories on screen while turning real-life controversy into entertainment. Ricky Gervais mocked an industry that, in his framing, could preach morality publicly while tolerating misconduct behind closed doors. From there, viewers begin rewatching interviews, analyzing body language, and searching for hidden meaning, convinced nothing is random. Then come the viral claims, documents, and online discussions that circulate through forums, placing familiar names alongside Epstein-related narratives in the same breath. If, as some believe, the immunity blanket is truly starting to tear, the question becomes not just about isolated coincidences, but how many of them people are willing to dismiss before asking what the full picture actually looks like. Do you think Tom Hanks is just collateral damage of internet paranoia, or is Hollywood using its most trusted face as a shield for something far more complex beneath the surface? If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future uploads.